r/AskReddit. Coders, how do you politely refuse your friend's $1 million app idea? Ask for a salary saying that you are not prepared to be their co-CEO. They will back off instantly. This is exactly what I do with strangers. I don't work for glory or for a maybe future income. I have to try to do the same with friends and family. I start talking about the technical parts of what they want to do. Oftentimes I get a glassy-eyed look and they never follow up again. My specialty is on the server side of things. If that doesn't work, I show them my website from the late 90s that hasn't been updated since. They usually take the hint pretty quickly that I don't have a UI bone in my body. Lol, same. I do like cloud architecture and big data delivery systems. I pretty much say, well, if you want to run everything through console, we might be able to give it a shot. But then they back off when I tell them how much I charge for consulting hours. I never want to discourage genuine enthusiasm for an idea, so instead of saying, too hard, too expensive, already been done, etc., I treat this as an opportunity to teach my friend, co-worker, board member or relative, all true examples, to take a stack of index cards and draw a picture of the app starting with the opening screen. Then use a red pen to draw the UI action that would lead to the next index card where they draw that screen. I tell them to draw as many screens as needed to illustrate how it works. If they can get past this step, they have a much better idea of the flow and complexity of the app from the viewpoint of the user. This process teaches them an enormous amount about software dev. I tell them that they would have to have this card design rock solid before talking to an app dev, and if they did it and brought it to a developer, the developer would cry at having such an organized client. Wow. Not even snubbing them, but actually providing guidance they can reasonably pursue to hook up with a PM/dev/investor. You're a good human. Usually by going to the App Store and finding 10 versions of their app idea that already exist. Right out of college, some business guy wanted me and some friends to develop an app for him. It's basically Twitter meets Pokemon Go. You post at physical locations and they stay there for a set period of time. His idea was to have it drop ads or coupons that companies will pay for advertising. Interesting idea. I go on to the App Store and I find the exact same app he is trying to get us to build that's been dead for over 1 year after it received $1.4 million in funding. So I called him out on it and he's like, yeah, I saw that, but ours is gonna be better. Better than $1.4 million of funding and going nowhere. I ducking doubt it. Noped out of that one pretty fast. I once had an acquaintance tell me their idea to have an app that lets paramedics see important medical info on the patient's phone even if they are unconscious. It was a little awkward to show them the medical ID button on their lock screen, and that most phones already have this built in. I'm not sure if it made it better or worse that no one really uses it. Once a guy gave me his brilliant idea for boat sharing. Like Zipcar but for boats. All I said was, you know you can already rent a boat, right? Anyway, that was back around 2012 and now apparently there are boat sharing apps, so I guess I missed the boat on that opportunity. Being right at the wrong time is the same as being wrong. If you tried to build a boat sharing app 8 years ago, people would have laughed you out of their office. You wouldn't have kept the company afloat for 6 years until that idea didn't sound insane. Yep. My grandfather quit his job and opened a small computer repair shop that shut down just a few years before casual home computing started taking off. Right at the wrong time. Almost lost everything. Dude, that sounds insane. I'm slammed with work right now, but when I get a chance you can show me what you've worked on. Spoilers, they haven't worked on it, you will never be free, and the app will never get made. As a mobile developer, can confirm this is the best strategy. ML and ask for a business proposal, and go to market strategy. You'll never be bothered again. $1 million app ideas generally fall in one of 4 categories. First, it already exists. Second, it will require insane server power and the money to pay for it. Third, it's illegal. Fourth, computers don't work that way. For option 1, I show them the 12 apps that are better than their idea. For point 2 and 4, I get technical and start throwing costs around until they change subject. For option 3, I say it's illegal. I had someone tell me they wanted to make an app where you could text your friends, but in addition to text, audio, pics and video, you would also be able to send someone a smell. When I told him I couldn't build that, he asked if I knew someone who could. What kind of illegal app offers did you get? Hack this person's Facebook is up there. That sounds like a great idea. Here are some resources online where you can learn everything you need to make it happen. I refuse to work with friends and family, so I just tell them that I do not want to transform the relationship into a professional one. Germans have a saying, friendship stops where the money starts. If you're marrying in the 1600s, friendships start where the money starts. Ask for a wage per hour of coding time. If they are willing to make the investment, then maybe they actually have $1 million app idea. And if they don't, you still get paid. I've worked with a few clients who think they have the next big idea, and they've somehow got the funds together to pay me. The whole time I do the work, I won't feel good about it, but I have to make a living. I'll actively try to inject ideas that might make it a success, but usually those clients can't see beyond their vision. However, I won't accept the work if they want to pay via credit card. I reckon there have been some billion-dollar apps where the coders felt that way during development. I vaguely remember reading about a guy who sold his share of Microsoft for $500 or something before they hit it big. A year or two later, and his share was worth several million. I tell them that I know consultants that are available and will help build it, but it will take money. Barring that, I explain that ideas are a dime a dozen, it's execution that matters, and as the one doing the executing, a 51% stake in the company will be required. This gets them off my back every time. You just have to tell them the price for a web app plus application for both Android and iOS. The answer is usually, is it really that much? How much are we talking? Genuinely curious. Vastly depends on the app/site. Static website with nothing changing? Between $3,000 and $5,000. Fully functioning app with payment processing, user accounts, and custom business logic? $30,000 bare minimum, and probably much more for the lifetime of the company. I just start poking holes in it. Not in a negative way, but just by asking questions. That's one of your superpowers as a developer, to be able to think through edge cases that suddenly start showing how an idea or approach is not viable. You can do this by just asking your friend questions about those edge cases, and most oftentimes the viability or non-viability reveals itself. If there are some details that your friend hasn't thought through, which there always are, then you just ask them to figure out what those details should look like, since they are needed, before you can help. 99% of the time, they abandon the idea because after thinking about it more, they realize it's not going to work, or that it requires far more effort than they are willing to put in. Also known as the Socratic method. Just be careful you don't anger them enough that they sentence you drink hemlock. I have $1 million app idea at least once a day. But what I don't have is the capital to build it while I quit my job, or to pay for the advertising, to make people to know it exists, or to pay for the brilliant salesman who will convince investors to give me Series A money to assemble a team, or the spare time to even assemble all of these things. $1 million apps don't come from programmers, they come from people who are capable of raising money and convincing others to work insane hours for little or no money. This is the point everybody should understand. As a 1 app millionaire, that makes me very sad. I have the ability to make the app, but no social skills.